famous Uluru located at Northern Territory, Australia, also known as Ayers Rock. Did you know that Ayers Rock is not an architectural object at all, but a striking geological formation that has been left standing above an enormous plain while the surrounding rock has eroded away? The various caves and fissures at Uluru are interpreted as incarnations of events that took place there. There is a mouth that silently screams in anguish, a scar that runs with the water when a word is shouted, and bodies everywhere. However, it came to be as it is. Uluru is experienced in Aboriginal culture as a memorial monument.
Colosseum, also known as Flavian Amphitheater, located in Rome, Italy. It was begun by Vespasian, inaugurated by Titus in 80 AD, and completed by Domitian. But did you know, the building could seat up to 80,000 spectators who came to see events such as gladiatorial combats and prisoners being torn apart by wild animals. Brought from the farthest reaches of the empire, the animals could be introduced into the arena through trapdoors to take combatants by surprise. The arena could also be flooded for naval displays. The amphitheater was built on fairly flat ground, so the whole of the vast rake of the seating could be supported on concrete bolts, which the Romans were adept at constructing. What looks like a fairly continuous loop on the inside of the building is resolved on the outside into a series of the 4 piers that are adorned with repetition of versions of the Greek styles of color, Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian. But these structures are simply decorative, connoting some cultural sophistication and magnificence.
The third one is the Eiffel Tower, which is made by Gustave Eiffel in Paris, France. The Eiffel Tower was the tallest building in the world when it was constructed in Paris for the Universal Exposition of 1889. Although it was originally envisaged as only a temporary structure, it has remained in a place ever since. Gustave Eiffel was an experienced engineer of bridges by the time he made the design, and the shape that he came up with is the result of a threefold concern: for rigidity, for stability in the face of winds, and for minimizing the mass of the tower itself. Did you know that the Eiffel Tower has become such an instantly recognizable symbol of France that few people stop to ask how such a situation came about, when other places seem more open to adopt their most venerable buildings as national emblems? It has been used in effect to promote the idea of Paris as the capital of modernity, and indeed to suggest the modernity is more or less in France.
Grand Shrine. The Ise Grand Shrine is located in the city of Ise, Honshu, Japan. Did you know that the Ise Grand Shrine is one of the most sacred Shinto shrine in Japan? It is dedicated to the Shinto sun goddess Amaterasu Omikami, a distant ancestor of the Japanese emperor's family. It is considered to be the spiritual home of the Japanese and its national religion, Shinto, and receives over 6 million pilgrims and tourists every year.
The next architectural structure is the Cathedral of Light, located at Nuremberg, Germany, by architect Albert Speer. Did you know that Speer gathered together 134 anti-aircraft searchlights and arranged them at intervals of 13 meters or 43 feet around the parade ground, pointing vertically into the air?
After the dark searchlights were illuminated and their beams gave onlookers the impression of being in a staggeringly large cathedral, with a ceiling that soared towards the heaven. The lights exerted their effect inside the parade ground, where everyone felt that they were in a single unified space, and also outside, where even from a great distance, it was obvious that something of global importance was occurring.
Our next destination is the Great Pyramid of Khufu. The Great Pyramid of Khufu, also known as the Great Pyramid of Giza or the Cheops, is the oldest and largest of the three pyramids in the Giza Pyramid Complex, bordering what is now El Giza, Egypt. It is the oldest of the 7 wonders of the ancient world and the only one to remain largely intact. Did you know that the Great Pyramid at Giza was built to honor the god king, the pharaoh Khufu, who was called Cheops by the Greeks? It stood 146 meters high and was the tallest man-made structure in the world for 4,000 years until it was overtopped by the spires of the most ambitious medieval cathedrals.
The next destination is ta-da! First Great Temple, Temple of Akau and Temple of Great Jaguar, located in Tilibasin region of northern Guatemala and built by a classical ruler, Josechan Carril. Did you know Temple 1 is known more evocatively as the Great Jaguar Temple, from the sculptural carving of a jaguar on its sleeve there? The tomb with its precious goods was sealed before the construction above it began. The temple's interior space is small, consisting of a chamber with a carved stone vault supporting a massive stone superstructure.
So for our next destination will be Zimbabwe. Do you guys have an idea about Great Enclosure? So Great Enclosure is a part of Great Zimbabwe, which consists of an elliptical space enclosed by a cut stone wall that is 5.5 meters thick at the base and 7 meters high. It is made of granite, which is in this area split into layers like slates. The stone were painstakingly shaped to fit together without mortar. The enclosure is well protected by the cement's solidity, and the activities that took place in it must have been highly valued. A frieze of 2 rows of chevron carved along the top of the wall makes it clear that this is not simply utilitarian structures but one that was invested with care and sense of decorum. There are 2 towers, the larger 10 meters high, but the purpose is not understood.
Another one is Taj Mahal, which is located in India. The Taj Mahal is one of the world's most recognized buildings, famous for its beauty and for the fact that it was created by a grieving widower in the memory of his wife. It is a sublimely romantic gesture of a building. Internationally, the Taj Mahal is emblematic of India in the same way that the pyramids are emblematic of Egypt. The building's surfaces are intricately decorated with lettering, abstract patterns, and plant motifs, but representations of the human form have been avoided. The plan has a strongly geometric character and have levels of symmetry. The mass of the construction is pierced by narrow passageways and chambers. Grouped around at the central chamber were the tombs of Both Mahal and her husband are surrounded by exquisitely worked pierced marbles, screens called jalis, framed by marble inlaid with colored stones in the shape of flowers. Further, marble screens in the walls allow a soft light to filter through.
Structure is the Sydney Opera House, located at Sydney, Australia, by Jordan Woodson. Did you know that an international competition was organized to find the best designer for the Opera House? And the Danish architect Jordan Woodson was selected on the basis of some highly innovative proposals. Turning those ideas into reality turned out to be much more complex and expensive process than anyone had anticipated, and that many problems, technical, financial, and political, became overwhelming for the architect. Some eyes, Sydney Opera House is a highly sculptural edifice that owes more to the traditions of 20th century abstract sculpture than to the traditional architectural form. However, the shells are a small part of the whole, and the general idea of making a relatively light canopy seemed to float above a dense mass of building has many precedents, symbolizing Australia's current prominence in world culture. Sydney Opera House is a counterpart of Ulura's continuing and no less iconic presence in the outback.
Hello guys! I want you to come with me and discover one of the greatest addition of Rome, Italy to architecture, which is the famous Parthenon. It was referred as one of the world's most outstanding artistic accomplishments. The Parthenon is an international symbol of Greece. It was both an extravagance and a complex achievement that drew on the knowledge of earlier structures, but it is more refined and sophisticated than its predecessors. Did you know that the Parthenon in Athens was once covered in colorful splashes of paint? Archaeologists say that many of the most stony ruins look much different in their prime. Many were brightly painted in hues that have faded in time, and in some cases with forced removal. The architect is Ignitus, also credited with the design of the Temple of Apollo. The famous Parthenon had 46 outer columns and 23 inner columns in total, each column containing 20 flutes. The Parthenon was a temple dedicated to Athena, who gave her name to the city of Athens. It was built on a rocky outcrop that had once been a fortified citadel, but by the 5th century had become a sacred precinct, the Acropolis, with several important buildings on it, including the Erechtheion, where religious relics were kept.
The next structure is Great Stupa of Sanchi, also known as Sanchi Sculpture, located in historic site West Central Madhya Pradesh State, Central India. Did you know the impulse behind the creation of stupa was the same as the inspiration for the building of cairns of a brick stone, as related in the Hebrew Bible or prehistoric tumuli or the Egyptian pyramids. The stupas are associated with Buddhism, and the Great Stupa of Sanchi, a small village 46 kilometers or 29 miles from Bhopal, is one of the oldest, largest, and most authoritative. The site, which includes other stupas and the remains of palaces, is the oldest Buddhist sanctuary. It fell out of the use in the 19th century but was rediscovered and excavated in the 19th.
Twin Pagoda or Yongzhou Temple in China. Did you know that these temples containing of two pagodas dating from the Ming Dynasty? The East Pagoda was built in 1597 and the West one is 1612. In charge of the pagoda's construction was high-ranking monk named Fodeng. By the 20th century, deterioration since construction had caused the East Pagoda to slant from its center of gravity by 2.87 meters. The pagodas are the tallest set of twin pagodas in China.
The other one is the Empire State Building by William F. Lamb in New York City, USA. The Empire State Building's status as a symbol of New York and the USA in general is secure. Its early use in the final scenes of the film King Kong during 1933 perhaps helped to root it in the popular imagination, but its prominent position on Manhattan Island has ensured its continuing visibility, and its name makes it seem like the very embodiment of New York State. The Eiffel Tower has overtaken as the world's tallest structure in 1930 on the completion of the Chrysler Building in New York City, but the Chrysler Building ceded precedence the following year to the Empire State Building, which had been steadily rising at the same time only a few blocks away. The Empire State held the title until 1972, the year that saw the opening of the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. Since then, the tallest structures have had relatively brief reigns.
Hagia Sophia, located in Istanbul, Turkey. When we translate the full name of Hagia Sophia to English, it means Shrine of the Holy God. Did you know when Hagia Sophia was constructed in the first half of the 6th century, it was the greatest Christian church with a commanding position in the city of Constantinople. It was part of the complex of buildings that made up the imperial palace of this kingdom. The Roman Emperor, various names have changed. The city is called Istanbul. The Emperor Justinian and his successors is called Byzantine.
And the next structure is Judge Harry Ferguson Interchange. It's a stop interchange near the Athens and Watts communities of Los Angeles, California, also known as Century Freeway. Even before it opened in 1993, it was used as a set for a Hollywood film called Steam. Did you know, in Los Angeles, the connections between people are sometimes invisible and electronic. But in the freeways, the links become monuments in their own right. The monumental quality of this interchange is confirmed by the fact that it was named after Judge Harry Ferguson, who oversaw a legal case against the Century Freeway that its outcome, being different, would have prevented its construction. The place where the roads intersect and five letters is made even more complex with the presence of a metro station and a carpool lane that connect to the harbor transit way. Curving gracefully through space are the various lines of the vehicle's trajectories, while the plan of the section gives a good idea of its layout. The horizontal dimensions are much longer than those are conventionally inhabited building that the whole interchange drawn in section looks merely flat.